Hello, Mr. Marcus Allen Frishman. This is the greatest show in the Archieverse. We are so proud to have you here. So proud to be here. I really enjoy these shows. These shows we do, they're just so fun. And, you know, you are an eccentric. I got to tell you something. As I'm getting older, so I do reveal my age. I'm 53. As I get older, I'm actually in semi-retirement myself. Okay. And also being married, of course, I'm celibate. Boom, 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 boom. That's the joke. I gotta tell you something. I actually, as we get older, friendships are harder to have. Like when you're in employment and working, you have career friendships.
Yes.
Me and you have both moved into the next step. I'm going semi-retired. You, I think, have sort of said you want to have no clients by next year, or you've made some statements.
Zero work income by January 1, which looks tough.
And I think the thing is, what I've found is that it can be an incredibly lonely time because we're quite young compared to the average retirement age. The average retirement age in America is 62 to 65. So we're a bit younger than that. And I find it can be very lonely. It can be a very lonely thing because a lot of men are busy with work and that there. But we're special. We're semi-retired. In your case, it's through choice. In my case, it's just YouTube is collapsing. And, you know, it is what it is. Now, I wanted to say to you, I find it very, very good for my psyche and mental health to actually talk to you every week. I love it. This is better than therapy.
Well, thank you if you're telling the truth there, and I think you are. You're an honest man.
And no, why would I say anything if it's not the truth? And I tell you something. It's a lot more beneficial. Now, you're a little bit low. Your volume is a little bit low. Let me see if I can adjust your setting.
Why am I low? How's that, Archie? Are we better?
Yeah, we're far better.
Okay, excellent.
So, Marcus, tell us what's happening. What have you been up to this week? Tell me what's happening.
Well, let me comment briefly, though, on your initial opening thoughts. And you know, we have to remind our viewers each week that I'm Marcus Allen Frishman and you're not. But nonetheless, here we are gathered to help people in their life. So why don't we expand upon this concept you had about friendships not being everlasting and the phases of friendships. Now, I have found the most social moments in my life were during college.
Yes.
I mean, in my particular case, and I think I'm unique in some ways because I was, you know, in so many directions. I was in student government.
You were in the WASP dinner club?
President of the Yale WASP dinner club. I was, you know, there was so much that I did, having gone to Yale and Harvard and Pepperdine and graduating University of Southern California, attending Moore Park College, Pepperdine University, and I think I've never mentioned Whittier College, but I did a semester there. This Whittier Law School no longer exists. But studying was a key. So during those almost 6 years, I just flourished socially. You know, I was president or vice president of 6 political organizations that I can count, a student government operation, a community organization. You just flourish. Then you go into your career mode. You develop an expansion of a different type of friendship. You keep your college friends. Maybe you've kept some of your high school friends. In fact, we already know my oldest friend ever watches this show, and I can say his full name, Scott Conway. And he watches, and he's a contributor to this show, contributor to you, that is. And we do go to another phase where we get trapped in work and family, and that narrows us down again. I find as a single man that married couples ignore single men. How about that one? I have lost, now it's not an understatement, I have lost many dear friends. I could list them. They're coming in my head now. I'm counting up to 6 now. I have lost many, and these were close in inner circle, because they got married and faded away. Despite my reaching out, staying in constant contact, not letting them fade away, they fade away by choice and then confront you with it all when you're a person like me that doesn't let people fade out of their life. So that is...
They confront you.
Oh, yes. Oh, because, Archie, I learned something. I may have mentioned it to you in one of our Keys to Success videos. I learned something from the famous Armand Hammer when I was 15 and a half years old on an elevator.
Let me say this. Sorry, keep going.
I can stop and let you
No, you tell your story.
15 and a half in an elevator coming down from a club owned by Rupert Murdoch, the famous...
I know, he's Australian. He was Australian before.
Oh yeah, I don't know much about.
His tax status made him become an American, but that's beside
I know
the point.
one of his sons dated a college girlfriend of mine, Allison. It was the son that died in the Ferrari, if I get the story right. Anyway, so I never met him in my life, but I'm in his club, invited to have a lunch. It's on Westwood and Wilshire in West Los Angeles. Those are the streets. I'm forgetting the name of it's a lunch club, essentially. And I'm coming down the elevator, and I recognize a very old man. I'm 15 and a half. I'm not old enough. I'm barely old enough to drive. I probably have a learner's permit, I think, at the time. And I walk on the elevator. He and I are alone. I'm in a 3-piece suit at a 15-year-old, 15 and a half. I'm alone with him. And I say, "Sir, you're Armand Hammer." And he said, yes, son, I am. And I said,
what was his name again?
Armand Hammer. He eventually bought the Armand Hammer company, the baking soda company, but he's the owner of one of the largest oil companies in the world, Oxy Petroleum, which I think Arco bought years after that. He the single owner of a massive oil company. I mean, like the fading days of David Rockefeller, who he owned Standard Oil. Now, no individual, unless you're a Saudi prince, owns an oil company. But anyway, so there he is. And he had a distinctive set of glasses and face. And if you look him up on the internet and you showed his picture, you would know why a 15-year-old boy in the early 80s, late 70s would recognize such a man. And I asked him in one question, I said, "Mr. Hammer, what is the key to success?" And he handed me a calling card, similar to, let's say, my Philippine calling card, or similar to my official.
I just put him on the screen here. Can you see that there? That's him there.
That's him. I would say he was a bit older when I met him than that photo. And then he said to me, "The key to success, young man, is making future contacts with people." And he presents to me what he called his calling card. I still have it. I packed it. I found it in the garage, and it's somewhere in the boxes here because I've moved to my new beach pad while I rent out my home, my near beach pad. I don't want to give the impression I'm on the sand yet. But anyway, so back to my story. So Armand Hammer advises me, "Son, you have to get a calling card. You have to get a business card." So of course I do. I get an immediate calling card with my name on it. And he said specifically, he would be a poor man today if he didn't reach out to new people in his life. If he relied on the people he knew that helped him become wealthy and social, he would be a poor man. And I didn't.
The amazing thing is he actually gave you his card. Like, no disrespect to you. As a kid in Australia,
I'm just
He
some kid.
readily gave you his calling card, correct?
Yeah, I'm a kid and he's alone and I'm alone, and the elevator door opens and I couldn't get calling cards fast enough. And in fact, a sideline story, when I was a state government official at the highest levels in California, a constitutional officer for which there's 14 of them, the governor was one, I was one, some are appointed, some are elected, I was appointed. LA Times did a story on wasted government money. And deep into the archives of that little story was a little notation that there's some guy at the highest constitutional levels in California that has spent more money on business cards than anyone of record. They figured, based on the calculation of orders, that I handed out 22. Come here, Bueller. Come here. What do you have in your mouth? Hold on. My dog is putting something in his mouth that he shouldn't. Hold on. I got to shake the dog. All right, so that I must have handed out.
Okay, is the dog okay? We care about pets.
He's eating something he shouldn't. It's probably paper.
What's he eating?
He's addicted. My dog has this addiction to paper. I cannot leave my calling card out because he'll eat it. It's the only thing he'll go after, paper. So my place is paper free. But anyway, so they calculated that based on the number of business cards I handed out, it must be 22 a day. Now, what they didn't know is that my own boss, and I did have one boss, who got so concerned about my business card orders that I wound up paying for a good portion of them privately. That was not of record. I was handing out way more than 22 cards a day. So the fact is, the key is contacts, which you have to stay in touch with people. It's the key to success. And the reason you have to force it, short of being creepy and a stalker, you have to do it, as my father said to me, if there's a no, if there's a rejection in your life, get it 3 times. You have to get a rejection 3 times from people you reach out to, whoever it is in any category, whatever it is, love, business, social. I don't care if it's the trash collector. You gotta hear no twice, 3 times before you stop bothering them. And I text people. I have on my Philippine phone, I have roughly, I'm trying to remember the number, 30, I have 7,000 contacts plus. I believe 3,700 of them are in the Philippines. I have communicated with every one of them, 3,700. I have likely met.
Did you ever get in touch with Mr. Hammer again?
Never again. Our paths never crossed. I don't recall ever an opportunity like seeing him at a public event or anything, because and I went to public events. I went to meetings. I was, did that. So you brought up a very good subject, because it's absolutely true. Arm & Hammer knew it. I knew it. And which goes to an interesting memo that I pulled out. It all ties in. People are going to think we had this plan, but we didn't, because I didn't know the topic you were going to bring up. And the key to success in business and in love is reaching out to people and meeting people. This is a memo.
Yeah,
we can probably take down Arm & Hammer. This is a memo that I wrote, sent from the Shangri-La Hotel fax to the acting assistant secretary of American Affairs in the Philippines. That's a Philippine government official at the full secretary cabinet level. Actually, it's an acting, so there was somebody replacing somebody. And it's from me. The title was Marcus A. Frishman, Chief Deputy, State of California, Deputy State Constitutional Officer. I was not a Deputy State Constitutional Officer. I was a Deputy. I was a Constitutional Officer. Somebody mistyped this. And there's a nice long list of these lovely people that I want to meet. They're all very, very important. Whether you know these people, recognize the title and the position, they are significant. You'll notice that I've crossed out the mayor of Davao, Rodrigo Duarte, who was the last president of the Philippines. Now, he was the last he asked to meet me. That's why he got on the list. And then I removed him. Why? Because I thought, why would I want to meet this guy in Davao, Philippines, some mayor on some motorcycle, goes after drug dealers. Well, it turns out he became president. And when he did, I was not persona non grata, but I was snubbed. The previous president honored me. The next president is the current president that just got elected recently. And that goes to my point. I was unpacking because I moved to my near beach pad, and I saw this memo, and I thought this would be a great subject to tell Archie. Don't eliminate, expand. If you need to meet 5 people, meet 8. If you're going to meet 8, meet 10. If you're going to see 10, it's really probably you got to meet 20. And that is what I did. I told my secretary when I was in government.
Chat in here. We got a super chat in. They want some advice. This is a $20 super chat, a big super chat.
Oh, generous
Black
man.
Cat 997. Trying to get back in touch with a best friend of mine. I am in my 40s. He's in his 70s. We had a political disagreement. I said an asshole thing like I often do. Want to reach out again. He sees himself as an elder. Any advice? What would you advise?
I have advice for this man. I have his advice. My mother told me it is better to be loved than to be right. Now, that means lots of things. In this context, what it means is, even though you were right, I'm presuming you were likely right, you took the right position, you did the right thing, completely reverse yourself, back down, and apologize. It takes a lot to apologize, particularly when it's not due and when you were right? But it's better to be loved than to be right, meaning it's better to have the appreciation, actual love, the attention, the contact, fill in the blank, whatever that is. In this case, your dear friend, and just apologize. Now, that's where you start. And you got to double down on it. I mean, it's got to be gushy. And gushy, women are better than that than men. So put your metrosexual hat on and put an apology together on steroids. I'm telling you, I've seen this particular situation exactly. And I also had my mother's advice, and it works in numerous situations. It works best in this one because this is what it's designed for. It's designed for someone that you've had a connection with, either currently or previously. And you need to implement that. I'm telling you, Black Cat, report back to us. And you can do it without a tip. But please, this is the best advice ever, and it works. It's not an opinion. This is what I just gave you is empirical fact. It works. And all the people listening need to do this with any similar situation. In your relationship, in something current that's less dramatic than this, I'll compare it to your girlfriend or your wife saying, let's go see a movie, and you wind up compromising or you wind up going to the movie that you want. No, just let her pick the movie. Go to the movie you hate. I mean, that's the true meaning of love. When you do something for someone else that you hate, don't want, dislike, find disgusting, and you do it, that's love. Compromising with your partner, or your business partner, or your personal love partner, romantic partner, is easy to do. Compromise is nothing. It's worthless. And getting what you want, well, that's very self-serving. The true meaning of love is components of doing for the other that you hate and don't want to do. And I'm telling you, add that to what I'm saying, and boy, you'll be able to fix half a dozen things in your life.
Interesting. Very, very interesting there, I must say. I want to ask you something. Speaking of humble, by the way, I was just going to say, it's like that song, that Harry Chashin song, Taxi. I don't know if you remember that song, but he tells the story of how he was driving taxis as a job, and he picked up his old girlfriend, his old flame. And there was a line in that song that I really like.
What was it called?
The line is
Dream?
No, it was called Taxi.
Oh.
You know, Harry Chase, Taxi. The song called Taxi. And there's a line in the song that goes, she said, we must get Harry. Harry's his name. Harry, we must get together. But I knew it would never be arranged. There you go.
Yes. I don't want to play it because you might have a problem with that.
Yeah. Now I want to ask you something. What do you think? You're a right wing. You were more on the Republican side, right?
Of course. Yes.
What do you, I want to ask you this. This is a topic that came up. I want to seek your opinion on something. What do you think of President Trump? President Trump in the White House has made these pictures of former presidents. He's put some the new plaques on Presidential Walk of Fame scorn divisive Obama and by far the worst Biden.
Well, he put a picture. So there's this wall. It's a passage between parts of the White House. It's actually outside of the White House. Outside, in this passage. Anyway, outside of the Oval Office. And it's a picture, and it's an embossed statement that he had a lot to do with writing about each president. And it ends, of course, at the end of one end of the hall with his picture, which is his mugshot, the arrested famous mugshot, and the greatest president ever, as he would put it there himself. And then it has Joe Biden, and it's the picture of the signature machine that operated in place of Joe Biden really signing anything, which has also been proven to be factual. And then Obama is just he has a fairly reasonable picture of Obama, but he's obliterated with the statements in there. And it's been there a while, but now people are paying attention to it. It's on the media. It's a very personal thing to Donald Trump. And you got to, when you have a man like Trump in the office, you just go with the flow. So I suspect that some of that will be removed and changed with other presidents. But, that's his house. He can do what he wants.
Don't you think it's ridiculous? But it's ridiculous. It's petty.
He does ridiculous, petty things for a reason and for certain attention and to actually scare and worry the left. He likes to do that. He likes to scare and worry. And I don't mean Democrats. I don't mean reasonable. Well, there aren't much of those anymore. But I mean the true left that has taken over political positions in America. And he does this with lots of things. He does outrageous scare tactics. It's who he is, and he's always done it. And he speaks his mind, and he has no filter. He has a national security filter. He hasn't slipped up on that, but for once, as I understand in his record. But he says what he thinks, and you have to appreciate. Look, Archie, he's in some ways like me, although I have a bit more decorum and gentlemanly components. And Archie, he has some components of your personality. You've always been a man that has told people off and said what you thought. So, yeah, you know what? I give him a pass, regardless of whether I would never do that if I was president. But he's president, and certainly something petty like this can be overlooked.
I mean, don't you think it's disrespectful to the office of president?
I think it has some level of disrespect to the office of president, yeah.
I mean, I honestly, I thought Donald Trump would be bigger than this. It's so fucking pathetic.
He is. It's funny as hell, by the way. I like watching Donald Trump from a political humor standpoint. I enjoy the theater. It is entertaining, and but look. And I love his policies. I watched him last night do a speech. I watched him last night do a speech to tell the nation about certain positives that have occurred in his administration thus far. It was just a, off the cuff. It looked very off the cuff. He was reading a teleprompter, but you could see he wrote this. And he's not a good speech maker. I mean, just go to any Ronald Reagan video or Obama video, or even better, Bill Clinton videos, and you will see great orators, great orators. Donald Trump has never been a great orator. It's not his thing.
What do you think of do you think Donald Trump could serve a third term?
Well, some former close, significant advisors, his closest, such as Steve Bannon and a few others, have recently said he will seek and win a third term. Donald Trump has made clear nothing, because other than he hasn't even endorsed. He keeps talking about Rubio running and his vice president running, and Rubio recently announced, Secretary Rubio, that if the vice president runs, Secretary Rubio won't run, who of course has run for president and would like to be president. He has stated that, but it looks like that, maybe he'll be vice president. So who knows? It's too far away. And all the Democrats have, it looks like to me, is Governor Gavin Newsom from my humble state, the People's Republic of California, that has no revenue problems, but just spends and pays. He has affected this state so adversely in taxes that we are not experiencing here in California the golden age of Trump. While it's $2 plus a gallon nationwide and under $1 a gallon by 1 cent in some places, I'm approaching $6 a gallon, and that's because 68% of it is a California tax. And we can go on from component to component of Donald Trump's economic successes, lowering the price of cost of goods, and then California becomes insulated. And when you insulate a state of almost 40 million people, which is the fourth largest economy in the world under Japan, Germany, United States, then California, it is independent of Donald Trump on so many levels because of the nature of its path of power and finance. So all over the world, the state of California can impact the economy of countries by putting out a memo saying we might consider divesting in Japan. Japan market would collapse in about 40 minutes because it's actually happened on a memo. That they would consider divestment because of the massive sums of money in divestment and investment that they do all constantly. So they manipulate the world's politics. California, it's an evil place. It's run by evil leftists.
I understand what you're saying there, but I got to tell you something. I kind of think I'm just disappointed with Trump. He's so childish for this. I mean, you have to respect your former president. Former presidents need to be respected for at least winning the election. Trump has, if the elections were rigged, he would never have won ever, but he did win. This is the thing that makes it so disconcerting. We have
a deep state in America, Archie. And I just saw it today when I was unpacking one of my boxes, one of my second to the last box on my move here to the near beach pad from my palatial residence in Los Angeles. I will tell you that I wrote a paper and I saw it today. It was titled "Who Governs America?" And one of my studies was, hold on one moment.
Sure.
I cannot get the paper because it's packed away again. But I found I cannot get the paper because it's packed away again. But I found one of the books that I used to write that paper. And it's a famous book by G. William Domhoff, Who Rules America Now? Now, this is a very old book. And it was old when I did it, when I looked at it. But it goes to the it goes to the subject matter. It used to be called the political elite, the power elite in America, corporate, social, and political, and bureaucratic. And now we have called it something else since about the Obama time. We call it the deep state. It is consisting of bureaucrats, employees, and government officials, elected and appointed, and some corporate leaders. And clearly, America has a deep state. I did a paper on it when I was graduating college, and it's real. People don't understand it. They think it's make-believe, but it isn't. It's a cabal. It's not as well. It's not an oligarchy like the Philippines. It's not as tight, but it is clearly there. And Donald Trump is destroying. I believe he's effectively destroyed the deep state. He's put people that are still in control out of control. He has fired people that were in control. He has reversed the ability for them to hurt us with laws and executive orders and other regulations. And that is the great thing that will come out of Donald Trump, is his destruction of the power elite. He's always hated big. He hates big corporations. He hates big government. He hates Wall Street. He hates the big banks. And if Donald Trump had his way, he would break up the banks. Now, he's got to pick his battles. He's got to pick his battles. So he can't do a lot of stuff that's on that list that Bernie Sanders would love, that Elizabeth Warren would love. Those are anti-deep staters. And Donald Trump is in absolute agreement with the most liberal members of the Senate, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, on many things. And he has said it repeatedly. Donald Trump just said it again the other day. Now, he doesn't know how to build coalitions. He never appointed certain people of that genre in any position to build coalitions, and that's a sad thing. Most political leaders are successful because of coalitions. Donald Trump is successful being himself, not compromising, and only needing and welcoming people that agree with him. That is highly unusual, but that's proof to his popularity. No president that I'm aware of in American history has ever been as popular without compromise and building coalitions. Every one of them have done it. That's how you win. Not Donald Trump. Hell with the coalitions. Let me just get the people that like me to vote for me. You see the power in that? It's unfathomable. And he got the popular vote and the electoral vote. Now, people that don't live in America don't understand the difference, but trust me, getting both is impossible. Almost.
Do you think Trump has destroyed the Republican Party?
No, I think he is I think effectively it's irrelevant. He is the Republican Party. But the good news is that the Democrats have destroyed their party themselves. It's a complete disarray. They really don't have a party at all. They have a cabal that did Bernie Sanders in. And I mean, talk about authoritarian. They had no nomination convention and they picked Kamala Harris. That's contrary to how we've done it ever. You don't do that. But they did it to themselves.
She was the vice president, Bud.
Yeah, but you have a nominating convention and all Democratic candidates. There was no such thing. She was anointed. There was no nominating convention. And Bernie Sanders was screwed. And a few others that had a shot.
Are you a Bernie Sanders fan?
I am a fan of independent, anti-government type people, and those people are on the liberal side, like Bernie, and they're on the libertarian side, like Congressman Tom McClintock and a few others, and they're on the ultra conservative side of the Republican Party, but they're not part of the mainstream Democrats. And they're certainly not part of the most of the leftist community. Bernie Sanders builds coalitions because he gets people to support him that are part of the far left that I don't think fully understand his view on world and economic politics. And that's why Bernie and Donald Trump agree on all of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's true. President said so the other day, reminded America, I agree with Bernie Sanders on many, many things. Our president can't explain things well. He can't sell things. He is a deal maker. He makes deals. And that skill is very different than selling something. I'm not good personally at making deals, but I'm a salesman. I can sell a package. That may lead to a deal, but I have the skill of selling something. Our president can't explain stuff.
Were you a fan of the Mickey Rooney movies? The Mickey Rooney, Judge James Hardy?
A bit before my time, Archie. They were old for you.
Yes, but I watched a lot of Judge. I used to watch. They had a Sunday marathon where they had the Judge James Hardy movies, and I loved it. I love Mickey Rooney.
I'll look it up. I know who Mickey Rooney is, and I've seen him. But I don't recall this. What you're citing, actually, maybe the first time you've ever asked me something that I don't know. No, I don't know this.
Yeah, Mickey Rooney, of course, famous Hollywood actor, and he unfortunately seemed to blow a lot of his money. He sort of blew a lot of his money there, and he was in
Hollywood. We're blowing your money.
You know what role he regretted most?
Remind me. The Twilight Zone?
The Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, that's a big move. But he was in the Twilight Zone. Maybe that's when I last saw him.
He played the Japanese guy in Breakfast at Tiffany's. He said that was the most silly. He regretted doing that in hindsight. But tell me this: you have moved house. How far is your house from being empty now? Your old place, is it empty now? What?
Well, I would say I have a knight in shining armor that I actually believe I can fit in my humble abode here. I'm going to bring it. And I have a lamp, a beautiful, ornate brass lamp. I think I have a picture, but I'd like to bring that. So I call the old family handyman, Kirk. He says he's who installed it for me. He will take it down and reinstall it here on the same day, and we're going to do it after the New Year's. So those two significant items, and I will go back oddly Monday before the storm comes. There's a storm coming to Los Angeles and in LA. When a storm,
have the squatters moved in yet?
No, when my neighbor's keeping an eye out, and I've only left the upstairs windows open, but it's a gated community.
Has the BMW gone yet?
No, I haven't entered the second garage. So I've cleared out the first garage, although my motorcycle is still there.
What sort of motorcycle do you have?
Oh, I didn't tell you. During COVID, I bought a most beautiful motorcycle. It's called the Honda Rebel. Now, it's under 300 pounds, which makes it a light motorcycle. The visual is it looks like a Harley Davidson. Okay.
By the way, did you know Harley Davidson's dealers are closing up shop all over America at the moment?
There's a massive one near me with a big American flag. I didn't know this. I'm going to look for the picture.
Actually, what Harley Davidson corporate pushed a lot of mom and pop stores to either build big showrooms and expand or close down, hand the agency back, right?
It's interesting. There's 3 in driving distance from me here.
And what's happened is a lot of them have overcommitted their floor plan. They have the lease stock, or the stock costs them a lot of money. And it looks like a lot of dealerships are being forced out because the economy is not good at the moment. It's sort of, well, I don't know. Trump would say inflation's down, everything, unemployment's low, everything is good. But many people are saying the economy isn't so great. What do you think? Do you think the economy is good? What's your opinion?
I do. I think the economy is generally good, but I think people are hurting, and I'm okay. This goes back to democratic state policies. One could say I am hurting in California when I have to pay these inflated costs due to state policy. They are directly related to state policy. I'll give you one example with the gas tax here. There's so many layers of gas tax, and the Californians just voted another one in. So it's not as though the politicians are doing it without the support of the people here. The people support it, and they got what they deserve in the People's Republic of California. Here is my motorcycle. Is that a beautiful little Honda?
Oh, I love the color.
Yes, I wanted my signature color red, but beggars can't be choosers. And during the COVID period, I was bored. And before I was 19 years old, Archie, I had 3 different motorcycles. And I used
How
to
much
dirt.
was that motorcycle?
That motorcycle is under $6,000, and I got a deal on it during COVID. I believe I paid $4,500, and it brand new. And it is lightweight in that I can tell you, I believe it's either 285, 265 pounds. You have to look it up, which I understand is a lightweight motorcycle, because when I got on some big motorcycles, boy, they were hard to keep up. This motorcycle is a pleasure to drive. I think it looks great. And let me tell you about it a bit, what I do with it. I drive in circles. Now, I was a motorcycle rider, dirt bike. I remember falling and hitting the ground, and there was a rattlesnake, and my motorcycle caught on fire. And I was about 19, and I never rode my motorcycle again. Between the rattlesnake and the fire, I never rode again. I fell, and it was no injuries. Scraped up. I was a kid, 19. Somehow in COVID, I was bored. The COVID pandemic here was quite severe. The People's Republic of California had a curfew. I was locked down. I couldn't leave the house. It was terrible. I bought a motorcycle, and I drove in circles in my well-tailored 13 gated communities in my neighborhood, new streets. And when I had to go get gas, it made me nervous because I'd have to head down the foothills to traffic. And it made me very nervous. And I drove back, and I realized, wow, this is scary. I also realized once you take a fall on a motorcycle, a significant fall, you may lose your life. So I'm extremely careful.
Yes.
I drive slow. I drive on tailored streets, and I drive in circles. It relaxed me. I do it at sunset on a warm day. I also learned something I didn't ever remember as a kid motorcycle rider. When it gets to be about cool in the winter here, 70 degrees, and you get on a motorcycle, the wind chill turns it into like 65, 60, and you start to freeze when you wouldn't normally freeze. Also, we have to wear all this gear now. Back then I think I wore a helmet selectively, and I hate all that stuff. But I do ride in shorts, penny loafers, and a nice Hawaiian shirt. But I do have to wear a helmet and gloves. Mm-hmm. And as I say, I just drive in my community in circles. It relaxes me. But if I go down the street to get the gas, I will suit up. Blue jeans, boots. I bought motorcycle boots. I don't go to destinations with my motorcycle. I never have. Never gone anywhere with it except I tried once, and I was so terrified, I turned around and came back. I was going to meet a friend for lunch. I said, there's just no way I'm going to be driving in these streets. So call me a wuss, but that's the way it goes.
That's it. That's a fantastic way to go there. I got to say that you got to be careful. You need to wear leathers, and because if you come off, your modeling days will be over, Marcus.
Yes, well, the modeling. Well, I have all that you need to be I have the proper jacket. I have obviously blue jeans. I will tell you an interesting thing about me and blue jeans. I have never owned a pair of blue jeans until I may have had a pair before this for some reason, but I bought them for the motorcycle.
Yes.
I'm not a blue jean guy. I'm not.
Let me ask you this: what are you doing for Christmas there? Because is Winkle coming to visit you for Christmas?
No,
Please?
she's already in the Philippines, and in fact, interesting you asked that. Hold on a second. Let me share with you something. Where the hell is it? Stand by, please. Let me just find it. It will take a second. Here it is. Okay, I found it. Let me just put it in proper visual without revealing her email. I want to show you what she, how do I do this? What she said.
Oh, just read it to us. Don't worry about showing it. Just read.
All right, well, I'll read it. Never mind. Yeah, I'll read it. She says on December 15th, 12 a.m., Miss Winkle, hello, Math. How are you? Did you receive my emails, or are you really just ignoring me? I mean, she went silent for a couple of weeks, so she's having some communication problems. We don't know what they are, but her initial thoughts was I would be ignoring her. Who knows? And of course, my response to that, which she confirmed getting, who knows what the problem really is. But she is, when you go to the Philippines, be prepared for a blackout. And she's left Florida and off to the Philippines for family. You know, it's Christmas. You know, it's a mystery. When you get to the Philippines, Archie, you'll have trouble even when you have connection. It's hard to explain why.
Yes. So what did she say to you then?
Well, I explained, no, there's no, I don't want to reveal my private conversations, but
Yeah.
you know, that was out of nowhere. She's been silent.
It disappointing she's not having Christmas with you?
No, because Archie, I'm not a Christmas guy. I don't really do I've never done anything for Christmas.
You're
Well,
Jewish, aren't you? You're
I
Jewish.
am. That's not why I don't do anything for Christmas. I actually do
Hanukkah.
so.
It's the Hanukkah you celebrate.
But, and I've been to 2 Hanukkah parties already. Jewish people get invited to people's Christmas night. So no, they don't get invited to Christmas morning. So I will no doubt have some invitations that I've not yet received for Christmas Eve. I will likely go to an unknown place. But on Christmas, because of the nature of the holiday and me, I used to go to Norm's every year. Have you ever heard of Norm's? It's a place. Anyway, they have closed any convenient Norm's.
We had that horrible tragedy last week. They had the shooting here, which was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I was just...
And
yeah.
I must say, to be honest with you, how is the relationship with Miss Winkle going there? Is it time to find somebody else, or will it improve, or what's?
Well, I suspect it will only improve when she's done with her contract. I suspect. Now, we don't have an open relationship, but as a practical matter, it could be, I suppose. But you know, that's by each of our choices. So it's very respectful. It's because of the way it is.
So she might have somebody else, you're saying to me?
No, I'm saying I could have somebody else. She would never do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. What are you looking at? What do you want to do next year? Slow down? I must say, your advice was very good to me. You told me you like to watch a lot of TV. You like television. You have a morning routine. You have a routine that really gives you the discipline.
Oh, yeah. I have a disciplined routine.
I hope you like coming on this stream, because I really do enjoy chatting to you.
Oh, I do. I enjoy being here. It's soothing. It's structured perfectly. It always is at 6 o'clock now, which is
exactly.
There's
what is the weather like? Is you're in California? Is it hot, cold? In Australia, it's very hot at the moment.
It's warm. Of course, Southern California is very different than Northern California.
Yes.
At the half state point, from, let's say, Bakersfield to Los Angeles to San
At the
Diego.
moment, it's 90. It's 90 Fahrenheit in Australia, where I am.
Okay, well, you're hotter than us, but because this is winter. But we are in the 70s and 80s in the daytime, and we are cold at night. For me, it's cold. We're in the 40 degrees, 50. I'm sorry, 40 and 50 degrees, depending upon where you're at. This is a bit cold, so I am wearing pants. I had to go to an event the other day in a suit. I'm usually either in a suit or in shorts. That's how I roll. But I'm in pants. I'm wearing jackets. I don't like that. I tend to wear long sleeves. I have an outdoor shirt. I can't wear these shirts right now outdoors, but I do have a special wardrobe for this time of year. It will end in March. Will be warm again. A big storm is coming, and when in Los Angeles and Southern California, when we get rain, and it can go 2 years with no rain, but when we do get rain, it will rain harder than you've ever seen it. And it will go on for 24 hours without a break, and it will go on for days. That's how it's always been. So we have rain expected for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and they call it a Pineapple Express. Last year, it was the atmospheric river 2 years ago. That's what destroyed my Porsche. And, it's going to be very, you don't go outside in the rain in California if you don't have to. I don't have to. So I will stock up, bear down, but it's just people in other parts of the country will say, well, it's just rain. But yes, we don't get rain. And we don't get it. Nothing floods here because the streets are when you hear about California floods, it's mountainside fire zones. It's where the mud is. Well, there's no mud in Los Angeles, and we have perfect drainage. Everything drains, so we don't really have any flooding issues. In any metropolitan city. It's in the outskirts and the foothills because they have mud. So yeah, the rain will just be terrible. Thank goodness we don't generally get cold rain. It tends to warm up.
Tell me this. When do you think you may go and see Miss Winkle?
After New Year.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I might bring her.
She's coming back.
She's coming back to her place in Florida. Yeah.
And you will stay with her?
Only for 2 or 3 days. She will stay with me.
Oh, you book a hotel.
That's right. And she has her off, and I will see her, and then I will be in and out in a flash. I've already talked to my management company here just yesterday, day before maybe. Yes. I said, I'm required to move my vehicle every 72 hours. Some weird rule. Yes. Normally, that's a public street rule in California and around our nation.
Well, you got a garage for your car, don't you?
No garages.
Sorry?
It's a beach community. There's no garages.
What, you leave your car outside?
I have no choice.
Oh, that's not really good.
Well, yeah, but there's no solution. And now I put in the question, I'm asking for special accommodation because I have to not move the car for days. And her initial response was, well, it's lightly enforced. I said, look, I'm going to talk to the chief of police. This is a small, brand new community. It is about 2 years old, and it consists of homes.
Can you not hire a garage somewhere?
Well, I could, but I haven't had down that. I haven't had this issue yet. I just started to think of it because I'm tired of.
I'm a little bit concerned. I must say, I'm a little bit upset. You're going to leave your Porsche out.
I had somebody move it previously. I can't rely on it anymore, so I have to have a solution to that. Anyway, I have to resolve the 72-hour rule, and I'm going to talk to. There's a local police chief. His name's Chief Massey. He knows me. I've already met him, a 5-page memo helping him run his operation a little better. So he met me at some community meeting and was a little shocked when I handed him a 5-page memo. But we've become acquaintances. And as I told you, I push. So I'm going to talk to him and get some sort of special accommodation. Then I'm going to be figured out this special assignment that I will have coverage. Right now, I have open parking. It's because they misassigned parking spots. Look, it's an apartment situation. I haven't lived in an apartment situation in decades. And this is what you deal with, I guess, when you live in this situation. I will be given a more assigned specific spot later at some point in the future. I am on the list. Until then, my car is ceramic. It is taken care of. It is Scotch guarded on the top. The moisture bubbles off it. And I have a new visor that I ordered. I've never had one of those where you put it in the window to block the sun out. I have one for the front and the back. So it gets no inside light. And what can I tell you? It is what it is.
I see. I must say, Marcus, I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm really concerned for the car because it's going to.
I know what heat and sun can do to a car. You do too, right? Based on where you live. The rubber goes first. But look, Archie, I don't baby a car. I told you that. It's my daily ride, and that's all. It is what it is. You can't worry about what you can't control, and I am attempting to mitigate it best I can with some future changes. There's somebody here says, why does Math keep ignoring me? I know deep down he likes mature woman. Well, Miss Wilkins.
The reason for that is you haven't super chatted. You need to super chat. If you don't super chat, how are we going to see you?
Yeah, you got to super
chatted.
Maybe you have to tell some people how to super chat, because I had a friend that watched us and he said, and he's the former chief of staff of the California governor. His name's Jim. I'm going to say his last name, D'Antona, former Cub. He was a Cub player, and he's in Chicago right now. Actually, he's retired, but he was the former chief of staff California governor, and he worked for the chief of staff at the Speaker Pro Tem of the Senate. And this guy says he couldn't figure out how to. Maybe he's just cheap. He couldn't figure out how to do a super chat. So tell this woman how to do it so we can get into that subject. Be fabulous.
Yes, it's very simple. All you need to do, where you can put comments, there's a little $sign. Press that, and you can super chat. There we go. Marcus, the house is looking nice. Are you sure you can't hire a garage anywhere near you?
I can, Archie. I can do it, but then I have to get to the garage. I use this as my primary vehicle. Right now, I'm keeping my other Beamer convertible that I bought new in 1997, a classic that doesn't have a working engine because I blew the engine out not long ago. That's at the house. I will fix that. And but no, there's no immediate. You were
going to sell that car. You mentioned you were going to.
I would like to fix it. I'm open to selling it. I've done nothing.
Okay.
I have to clear it out before the renter. I want to give a renter there's two garages on my home, and I want him to have both of them.
To make it get more money with two.
Well, you? I don't know, but it kind of depends. It would be nice to have that as a. I thought about keeping one garage, adding a couple of drywall partitions, building a wall, and having a small apartment in my house. That's not impossible either. But anyway, it's right now. I still have some stuff there. I went there and picked up some clothes. I picked up hangers. I picked up my stereo system, which is now in the other room, not connected yet. So I go back. I had an official mover move me, but I couldn't get it together as fast as I wanted to. So I moved furniture primarily, and about 25 boxes. And I left a lot behind that I wanted to bring. And I've left a lot behind that I'm sending to a consignment house. And I have fine furniture, as you can probably see from behind me. I am going to sell some of my fine furniture that's still left at the house. It has value, real value.
Some of it, prices are down for furniture, but aren't they? It's not great.
Who knows? I took some pictures. They told me I could get a couple $1,000s for one of my sofas. They think so I thought, well, all right. And I have two of those. So kind sofas. So I have a lot of furniture. I'm going to get it to the consignment house.
It's time to wrap up the show. We'll be back next week. I love you, man. You're Marcus Allen Frishman, and I'm not.
I'm Marcus Allen Frishman, and none of you are. Bye-bye. See you next week.
997 for your super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you next week. Hi, guys. It's Archie Luxury. Guys, I want to talk to you about David SW. David SW, David SW. Guys, if you are in America, if you are looking for a Rolex watch of your dreams, in fact, if you're looking for a contemporary modern wristwatch, I strongly advise you to look at David SW. Guys, don't play the dealer games. Don't bring in chocolates or Krispy Kremes for your dealer hoping to get a Rolex at retail. It's futile. Please, guys, save your dignity. Keep some pride. Go to David SW. I would highly recommend David SW, David SW. If you're in America and you're looking for a watch, go to David SW, David SW, David SW.